Right, hello. Welcome to my video diary number 1 for my games proposal project, currently known as Gun Game. Currently, it's all going along pretty well. I've got a couple of issues that I'll talk about, but everything's going along pretty. Other than those issues, everything's going pretty smoothly. Levels coming along all right. Blueprints coming along all right. Mechanics, they're all coming along pretty well. I've got a good idea of where I want it to go, and it's all doing okay so far. So I'll talk about some issues and some blueprints I've been having. I've got the full screen, so I can talk about some blueprints in a bit. First of all, I will run you through my level. So I think I was foolish and left the start location here, so I'll just change that in a sec. There we go, that should be right. So you start off here, and you're still a gun. I've actually got a tracer on. I will turn that off. I should have done it beforehand. Anyway. Right. Here we are. So, gun game. You play as a gun. You shoot bullets. Boom, boom, boom. Currently transform into white gun and into a grey gun. They will eventually not be white and grey. There will be different meshes, because currently I've still got the asset that I found of an Uzi. I'm going to change that to an asset of my own creation, and the same for the others. They're all shooting out different projectiles, but it's not their final projectile. But yes, currently I'm just using the bullet, because this is the one you start off with before you get any power-ups. So, right now, you're starting off here, you're walking along. There's a couple of cubes on the ground that you can shoot, and they will shatter, which is pretty cool. That's nice. And there's also these targets on the wall. Right now they're not targets, they're actually just cubes, but they will be targets. I swear. So basically, shoot that. If it's a target, that's going to be more obvious that you shoot it, but that will open up a door, and you'll be in this room. A couple more cubes over here, we'll shoot them right now. So, there is some stuff over there, yeah? So, there's going to be targets over there, so you can shoot them. Or you might want to go and take a closer look, but ooh, you've fallen down this hole. Oh no, what are you going to do? There's a couple more boxes on the ground which you can shoot, and we will do that. I'm hoping the player will notice these, and they will shoot them, and see that they can shoot them to destroy them. Because, shh, they're going to play later. But yeah, if you fall down here, you can't get up there, so what you're going to need to do is get back up. And luckily, right over here, got another target. It lifts up a lift, which you can hop on, get back up. Another simple blueprint. Some of the targets, they're going to stay there like this one does and keep doing stuff, but some of them will explode, like the destructible meshes. But what you want to do, there's a target there, which you're going to want to shoot. I might change that to be on the wall just to make it a bit more obvious as a target, because it just looks like, right now, you know, it's a cube, it's on the floor, it doesn't really work very well. But anyway, you do this, jump across here, and you're here, and you've got another door. Shoot that to open that. And we're faced with some glass, which hopefully if you shot them before, which we did, you'll know you can shoot these to get them out of the way, so we'll do that. Boom, 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 they get out of the way, and you are faced with a ball, which you can shoot to make move, you can walk into it to make move. This is one of the things that I struggled with, just based on how my projectile was set up. So it was set up, you know, just with the projectile component. But what was happening, it basically, you'll see if I walk into it, it moves quite fast. I did not want that to happen, because that made the puzzles too crazy. So I had to change how it was all set up, because the sphere is a blueprint. It's not just a basic geometry or whatever. It's in a blueprint. Because of how I wanted to integrate it into puzzles, it had to be in a blueprint, based on my current knowledge anyway. But it was making it, even in the settings for like changing the mass and stuff, I could change it and it would not change how much it moved. I wasn't sure how to fix it, but I eventually managed to figure out how to use impulses. And so what happens is that my bullet, essentially, to put it quickly, when the bullet overlaps it applies an impulse. The bullet's destroyed, and it doesn't actually affect it, but with the overlap it applies an impulse based on where the bullet hits it, and it moves it slightly, which is what you want, because the bullet does kind of more accurate control, because you will notice this little divot on the ground with a white pad inside. Looks a little suspicious, but what we are going to want to do, if we can get it in, which is a little harder than it looks, the ball wants to go in there, which will open up this door. Way, and now we're in another room. There's a ball on top of some glass, so you might be tempted to shoot the glass, make the ball fall down, and it will. But what you've got is a red pad on the ground, and you've got a white pad on the ground, and you've got a white door, and up here you might have noticed there's a red kind of sliding cupboard up here. Yeah. But what I hope the player will understand is that you want the red ball to go into the red divot, which will open up the red compartment. And up here there's a white ball and there's some glass. You can't see very well, but if you shoot it, it will shatter. And eventually, once the collision goes away, the ball will fall down. White ball goes into the white little compartment, and that, oh, well, at least, that's what you want it to do. It's not cooperating, but it will. Come on. That goes in, opens up the door, and the level continues. It's currently just kind of a window to the void. But yeah, so I hope you can see this. On my first recording, you couldn't. Right now, it gives me an error, right? And that error is for this blueprint for glass. I had to make a separate blueprint for certain type of glass, because what I wanted to happen, I'll just zoom over, I wanted the ball to be able to balance on top of the glass. But with the regular glass, the ball was just hitting the glass and it was destroying, because I want that to happen as well, but only if it's like moving with force. So I had to make a separate blueprint for my glass, which has extra collision on top and a little extra kind of glass component, which the ball will sit on and it won't just destroy. But I had to add some little more blueprints in the glass component, because obviously there was an extra collision box and an extra piece of extra cube I wanted to get lost, pretty much. So I set this up. I was having a little issue with the first glass where if it was hit by other glass it would destroy, and I wanted to keep that. But when that happened, because it wasn't being destroyed by a projectile, it wasn't setting the collision to no collision, so I could still hit the collision if I walked into it. So then I had to add this little thing on component fracture. It sets the collision to no collision. So after this, I set it to destroy component, these two extra components, which it does. It all works kind of how I intended it to, but for some reason I'm getting this error, and it's trying to access box 1, but it's pending kill, which it should only be accessing it to destroy it. So it's all working it's all working when I play it, but I'm still getting this error. I'm not really sure why. Hopefully I can get some help on that, because it'd be good to fix that. But that's not the only issue that we're facing. The main issue, which I managed to avoid actually happening this time, which is good, because this issue is a bigger issue. Basically, when I'm walking around, I can walk into these walls. I don't go through them. The mesh does, which is because the character, I'm still using the third-person character default blueprint, just with the mannequin invisible, and I added in the mesh of the gun. But the collision uses the capsule component, which, because it's inherited, I can't change that, meaning the gun goes through the wall until it gets to the capsule component, which, that could be causing my error that I'm going to explain in a second, but I'm not sure. But also, it's not too big of an issue. Like, it's not that much of a problem. Hopefully I can fix it. But if I can't, it's not too big a deal. But the real issue is this. So if I'm walking, if I'm just aiming, I walk into a wall, it's fine, right? Nothing happens. If I just walk into a wall normally, it's fine. Nothing happens. However, if I'm walking and I press the aim button, it sometimes it glitches me through the wall, which, it's not doing it now, but that's not good, especially when, I've got puzzles which involve kind of opening doors to get through. Like, if I can glitch through it, for some reason it's not doing it, there we go, it's letting me through. It's not letting me just through the door bit, but it's letting me through the bit next to it, so I don't know, it might just be because it's geometry and not a mesh or something. Maybe the collision's different, but I kind of assumed that the issue was due to how I set up my aiming. So I think I explained this a couple of weeks ago, but basically I wanted to have it so when you're walking around, I'll demonstrate. You're walking around, the camera just rotates around you as you're moving, but then when you hold down aim, it zooms in a bit and it follows where you're looking, kind of like, I don't know, GTA or something. I preferred that for aiming and shooting. So to do that, we've got two different camera booms. The camera switches between them when this aiming boolean is, when you're Oh, sorry, I got that on the wrong thing. When when you toggle aim down sight, the button is in my, my settings. It switches the camera back and forth, and it zooms in and out. That all works fine. But what I think is causing it to have an issue is that we've got this boolean, right? Which, when I press aim down sight, it sets it to aiming. When I release it, it sets it to not aiming. That's all fine. So on the event tick, how I've got it set up, because this also plays into how things shoot. So originally things were just my projectile, because it was a projectile and not just a line trace from the center. It was just shooting out from the barrel of the gun, or more specifically this sphere that I've got at the end of the barrel of the gun, because the barrel wasn't a specific component. So the projectile shoots from there, but it was just going straight in the direction it was facing, as opposed to what I was actually aiming at. So to fix that, what I had to do, I've got, basically with that little sphere at the end, on the event tick, if I'm aiming, what it's doing, it's setting the rotation kind of the capsule component, which, is what everything's connected to, my mesh, to where the new rotation is where my mouse is sort of facing, which is how this works. So, the capsule component is rotating the gun to where the mouse is, yeah? And also, it's also firing a line trace from, originally it was from this camera, but to try and fix a previous issue, I'm doing it from this little sphere, which fixed my previous issue, but now I've got this new issue. So it's firing it from a trace sphere, which is in the middle of the camera, straight down the middle of the screen to where my crosshair is. Yeah, I'll turn on the trace so you can see it. So when I play, it's shooting it, from down the crosshair to whatever the crosshair is facing. And what's it's then doing, whatever it hits, it rotates the little sphere that's at the end of my gun, to wherever it hits. So then it's shooting the projectile towards whatever it hits. So that's how I can shoot that point of the wall, or I can shoot that platform right over there, or even that target, even though it's a lot further away. And it basically just wasn't working like that without having me rotate the sphere, just because there's only one point in which the tracer down the middle and the rotation of the gun intersect, and that might not be right up close, might not be right far, it might be, I don't know where it is. So to fix that, it rotates the little sphere to wherever the tracer hits, and that's where it shoots the projectile. Then when I let go, it sets my rotation back, because, oh, my dog's just barking, don't know if you can hear that. What's going on is, when I'm rotated up here, so if I let go of it, what it would do previously was, have me rotated in a weird direction when I'm moving around. So to fix that, after you let go, it gets the rotation of the camera, it keeps them all the same except my Y rotation, which it sets to 0. So then that's how, even if I'm looking up there, once I let go, it sets me to there. I think what's happening is that, maybe because my mesh is through the wall, I'm not sure though, because the sphere is kind of hard. It's not, the sphere is not through the wall. If I turn the sphere to be visible, which I will just do now for you, it's hidden in game right now, but if I do this, so the sphere is right there, you see? It's, it's, so I just had to pause it and change it, because I thought I'd figured it out right when I was in the middle of recording, but I haven't. As you can see, I thought it was maybe because it was attached to the camera, which was rotating as I moved it around, but now it's not, and I've moved it further back and it's still doing it. The trace is still somehow, getting through the wall. Even though the sphere is right up there, that's where the trace is coming from, because it only fires it obviously when I move it around. It's coming from where the sphere is, but it's just confusing. I have not managed to figure that out yet, which is a bit of a pain, but hopefully at some point I will be able to figure it out. That would be very useful, but yeah, hopefully sometime. Apart from that one thing, everything's going pretty well. The level's coming along, the puzzles are coming along. I better get more kind of clever puzzles once I move on to having multiple ammo types, which I'm hoping to do soon. I want to make this first section a little, not too long, so we can get right into having different ammo. The next one's going to be like a lightning gun, and then I want to have something kind of like the gravity gun from Half-Life, and a kind of like a propulsion gun, so like using the force to push stuff, or the thunder gun in Nazi Zombies, kind of blow stuff away. Might be a bit similar to what we already got, but we'll just have to see. The gravity gun would be more useful, being able to pick stuff up. And also I want to do a kind of grapple hook type thing. I think that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so what I need to do is, I keep kind of getting stuck on the little glitches I've been having in the BPs, and kind of focusing on that and then not getting any level done, but I've kind of been forcing myself to do the level instead. And you know, it's coming along alright. A little simple, but it will get less simple as it goes on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching. Wait, don't go. I know I said thank you for watching, but immediately after closing it, I was messing around, and I think I managed to fix it. So I changed it. So on the tick, it's setting the rotation, instead of the capsule component, it's setting the rotation of the SMG mesh. And then when I don't aim, it's setting the rotation back to normal of the SMG and the capsule component. Took a bit of messing around. I thought I'd fixed it, turned out I hadn't. Thought I'd fixed it again, turned out I hadn't. But now, after messing about a bit, I think I have fixed it. So I've turned off the line trace is still there, but you can't see it anymore because it was getting a bit annoying. Deleted the sphere, so it's coming from the camera again. The camera's gone white. I don't know why. You know, that doesn't really matter. But you know, it's all shooting fine. I can still aim precisely, shoot that. Does that, open up the door, yeah, everything's going pretty good, and it's not teleporting me, it's not doing it, so that's good. I think I fixed that, so yeah, for real this time. Thank you for watching.